o'clock at night. I'm out here in the garage. You know, late nights make for fun days. Probably not. But yeah, let's look at what we got going on. I didn't record me doing it because I needed to figure out what I was doing. So now when I do the other side, I can show you what I did. And it will make more sense than me fumbling around. Well, you got to do this. No, you got to cut this. No, you got to do that. So I go inside, figured out. The only I don't have it yet is my brake line connected. The stock line thread's in it, but it doesn't bottom out all the way. So I'm going to go through my brake line fittings over there a little bit and see if I can figure something out over there. And see if I can make something work for it. But anyway, that's on there. So this is just a 94 to like 98 stock rotor. It's just a drilled and slotted one. It's a stock caliper. It's got ceramic pads in it. So it's nothing fancy, mind you, but this is way better than this crap that it had on it. Drums, because many times we've taken this car and we've beat on it back to back and try to stop it over 100 miles an hour, and you'd have nothing for a pedal there, and that's really not much fun. Now, you know, we did do the front up here recently. We did that already the other day, so we got rid of the stock Mustang GT brakes that this car had on it. I wanted to put it on it. It had a stock 87 Mustang GT. When I first got it, it had a random 4-cylinder brakes, but we swapped it over to 87 GT, like older model, and then put a manual brake booster on it. It's got the braided lines up front here, got the braided lines down here, and we're going to see about doing some braided lines on this here, but for right now we're just going to get it on and get it together so we can drive it again. But heck yeah, I'll show you what we did on the other side here, so stay tuned. We'll get you back there in a minute, okay? Now Sunday we're going to do the other side, but on update, I think I forgot my brake line connection. This right here is the factory shallow double bubble thing here, which is this thing here, and that should go right into here if I'm correct. Mundo, that's the wrong thread right there. Hold on a second, I think it's this thread here. There we go. Anyway, that right there, there we go. This one right here. See if I can thread that in. It's hard to do this one-handed. I really need to do better, but you know, I would buy better camera equipment, but YouTube keeps taking my channels away, so there's no point in me investing any money in YouTube. Let's be real. Hold on, sorry, let's see this. We're finally to the point of the video where I can actually tell you what you have to do and feel somewhat confident. That side over there is done now. So we'll go by it. Well, first obviously take your damn wheel off. Oh my God, where were those YouTube channels now? We have officially sunk to the depths of the bottom of the YouTube algorithm. But anyway, take the lug nuts off. Any way you wish. Now this is where it's going to get kind of, the water's going to get kind of muddy. Some boys and girls are still 4-lugged. Some have already swapped to 5-lug via Ranger axles. Some people are going to go buy an SN95 rear end and stove it right in here. Well, SN95 rear end you don't have to make any modifications to because it's there. The only problem with SN95 rear end is it's wider than a Foxbody rear end. And if you're in a shit box like this, it can become precarious at best when you're trying to fit a 28-10-5 in this narrow opening here and keep this wheel well over the top of the tire. And I do cover the top of my tire with my wheel well because I'm just not into the 70s hot rodder look. Nothing wrong with it, just not my thing. So these are aftermarket axles in here. They're Moser. I think they're 31 spline. I'll have to count them. I'll pull them out. I can't remember. It's been so long ago. Your rear end's full spool. As you can see, it's already being swapped to coilovers, which is in stock location coilover. So it's not the best coilover, but it is a coilover. So anyway, you have 8.8 Foxbody width with I think this is LMR. They make a 5-lug kit, so obviously when you do it you have to change your axles. They sell you one with a 28 spline axle. You buy the whole thing with the front rotors and everything, and the only thing they don't give you is the 87 to 93 spindles, and which you go source those from a junkyard. So you can buy it and you run stock. You run your stock drum at that point, because behind here, other than this 5-lug axle, is all stock Mustang parts. This is straight out of an 88 Mustang GT underneath this hat here. Here we'll show you. Like I said, all straight 87 Mustang GT stuff. And these are kind of well worn. I knew I was going to have to change them anyway. The last time I did the brakes, I said something about changing them because they're on their last legs here. Anyway, there is nothing inherently wrong with a drum brake, especially if it's adjusted properly. It will do fine. What it kind of lacks in is back to back to back to back. That's where it starts really lagging. And being that this is a street car, we have a tendency to get on it, get back off of it, come back down to speed to a normal speed, then get right back on it, and do that over and over and over again. So therefore, these aren't the greatest. And they have experienced fade a lot, especially with the stock 87 front brakes. There's been a time we were doing 105 on the back road here, and the pedal went to the floor. That is an ultimate pucker moment in your life right there. Now, you may see it on video and think, well, that's not very dramatic. Trust me, when you're behind the wheel and you feel that sensation that the pedal's not doing what you ask it to do, it gets a little nerve-wracking, because then you got to start figuring out alternative means to get this damn thing to stop. And there are a whole lot of options besides telephone poles and other people's vehicles. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take all these brakes off here because we don't want them, okay? And I'll show you the parts you got to buy. Make brake tools so you can get these springs off and save them. But we're not going to do that. They make a spoon right here that goes on here, pushes in and pulls this out. We're not going to do none of that. All we're going to do is we're going to take a pair of this, push this in, take a pair of new nails and twist that until it pops off. We don't care where it goes, as long as it goes in the trash can. When we're done, it's clean, we sweep the floor. We're not trying to save any of this crap. See, right here, this thing right here, that's your adjuster. We don't want to save that. This piece here, we don't know what the heck it goes right there. Apparently it's broke. It's fine. Nobody cares. We don't want none of this crap anymore. And we'll show you what's behind here. All right. Now we got rid of all our stock drum brake stuff. Well, most of it. Next thing we gotta do is we gotta get the axle out. Now there's two ways to do this. If you have C-clip eliminators, all you do is go back here to your C-clip eliminator and pull your bolts out the back, and bingo, your whole axle will slide out. Because with the retention device on a stock 8A is a C-clip in there. If you don't have this, it means that you gotta take your front cover off, push this axle in, and pull the C-clip out of it. Fun, which also means you can take the center pin out most of the time, but it's just good time. So anyway, C-clip eliminated, so it just didn't have that problem. If you do still have a stock one, you'll have to go back in the cover there and pull the C-clips. You can reference other videos how to do that, because I ain't got one to show you the example on. Sorry, I apologize. Now, before you start all this process, you want to get on your buddy eBay here, and you want to look up 94 and the 95. If you just enter those 2 years, you can enter many other years and it works just fine, but 94 and 95 rear disc. And then it's going to bring up a bunch of links. You'll see stock parts, aftermarket parts. I went aftermarket. I got drilled and slotted. For this whole kit with the rotors, the pads, not this piece right here. This is a totally separate piece. We'll talk about this in a minute. But for this, those, and that, I paid $193 for both sides. And that's substantially cheaper than what I'd get it at the parts store. Well, most people get it at the parts store. I have a discount at O'Reilly's. I probably get it for a little less. But I wanted fancy drill and slot because I want to look all race car shit, okay? But a standard slotted disc would be 17,000 times better than the drum, okay? So just trust me on that. Now this, a 94 and 95 is a 10.5 inch disc, okay? So it's not that big. Mind you, that's not huge, but they do make a Cobra option where you can go bigger. But what you have to remember is when you order this bracket right here, you're going to have to know whether you're going to run standard GT brakes or you're going to run Cobra, because that's going to change the size where this offset on this bracket goes to mount the caliper, which is this from the center line where my leg is here to here and here. Okay, this is for 10.5. I also bought this on eBay. I paid right at $100 for these sets of brackets here, and it saved me a long amount of time of fabricating. Now you could just literally you can make this bracket, especially if you had the machine work to do it or the time and patience. You can make this because it's not inherently complicated to make, but for $100 it's here to my door and it fits and it works great, and there it is, and it fits my application. But you don't necessarily have to buy this bracket. You could buy a C-clip eliminator kit, this thing right here, that already has the provisions for the disc brakes on it. Strange makes them. You can buy them. I just don't know about pressing that bearing onto my Moser axle. I'm sure it would work, but anyway, I already have this. That part right there is like 300, I think, or a little more, 200 at the low end, and this bracket was $100. So, and it saves me having to unpress this bearing off of here and putting a new one on and doing all that crap and stuff. And I already know this spacing for this one works for what I got going on here. The other thing is, if you do a C-clip eliminator, you got to cut a bunch of stuff off. Now this plate right here can't stay. That's why we got to take this out so we get this axle out of here, because this plate can't stay. Now you can buy a dust shield for these rotors. You can buy it new, or you can go to the junkyard and source it. Like I said, you can source all these parts here at the junkyard. You could probably walk out the junkyard for $50 for everything to do your disc brake swap if you want to be super frugal. I just wanted it new because I have that weird thing. I want it to be pretty. I want the car to look like complete trash until you look at certain parts so I can see all kinds of new stuff. That's just the weirdest that I want my life in, okay? It's just the way I go. So anyway, that's where we're at. So now we're going to finish getting these bolts out back here, and then we'll get this axle popped out. I have to put a bucket under here because I'm going to dump axle grease everywhere, because that's just the way it goes. But anywho, let's do that. Then we'll get this plate off. And lucky for me, this plate is only bolted on through these 3 bolts in here. When you get your axle out, you'll have 4 smaller bolts to hold this dust plate on. You take them out. Really simple. We have my axle out, and now I obviously don't have this little snout that sticks out here because this is where my C-clip luminary sits up and seals right here. One thing you would probably be best behooved to do is go ahead and cut this bracket off now on a stock Foxbody. This is where the third shock went and did third shock things. We don't need that in our life. We have fully adjustable suspension and better things than that, so we're going to lob this off. We did it over there. I kind of wish I would have did it before I put it at the rear end in, but hey, hindsight's better than front sight, isn't it? Most of that bracket cut off. That'll do for now, pig. That'll do. Anyway, we'll clean all this up. And what we're going to do now is we're going to knock this plate on. We're going to wipe it off first and get the grinding dust off of it. Knock this plate on. And we're going to line these bolt holes up. The caliper should be wound up sitting in this position right about here. Oh, sorry. There. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out in a minute. Give me a moment. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to knock it right there. And that'll put the caliper in the same position as over there. So the letters on the passenger side will go towards the inside. On the drive side, the lettering goes towards you. So you knock that out. All you do is put it up here. You can just get it in. You get it right there and just knock on the hammer right there and there gently, and it'll slide right over. Like I say, just gotta give it some love taps, get it to go on there. I know it doesn't sound right, but you probably use a dead blow better. But hey, this is what I got. There you go. What we're going to do now is we're going to turn it around where we want the caliper, and we're going to line it up here. And what we'll do is we're going to pre-stage our bolts in. I can't remember if the kit comes with bolts or not, but anyway, I'm going to use what I have because I got to use it for my Strange kit. So there's that right there. Or Moser, whatever the hell I got. I don't know what brand I have. I don't know. I bought it second hand off a guy that's been stupid fast compared to how slow I am. This is what plays, like I said, these are not bolted in. These holes are hollow. This is what your dust shield only bolts to. Then now if you had a dust shield, you'd go ahead and throw that on and you would have this crap here and all this other stuff. So anyway, I'm not using dust shield. Don't care about dust shield where I'm going. Dust shields are wonderful. They're the best thing ever made. Little baby Jesus come to sky and blessed them. If that's the way you feel, that's cool. If you don't want it because it's just extra weight and you don't really need it because you don't hardly ever drive the car other than to the grocery store get ice cream and shit and then to the drag strip, don't use it. I'm not using it, okay? I don't care about dust. It's not my problem. Like I really care about how clean the car is. Oh, anyway. So, anywho's, and we're not going to use this bolt and this bolt here. We'll just leave them there. We could lob them off if we cared to. If it ever becomes an issue later, we could, but it doesn't matter. So, what I got to do now is I got to finish cleaning this off right here so I can get ready to get this gasket back on. And I got to make this gasket here. So, mine's going to be a little more precarious than yours. If you had C-clips in there, you would go ahead and right now put your axle back in and put your dust shield on. We'll put your dust shield on and put your axle back in with C-clips in. I got to do this part. So we're going to diverge for a second, then we'll come back and we'll be together and we'll hold hands and it'll be really cool. Kind of weird, but it's fine. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to put the rotor up here. We're going to put our 2 lug nuts on it to hold it in place, and we're going to mock the caliper up here and figure our spacing front to back. See if it's dead on, if it needs a shim. That side over there I had to shim about 1/8 of an inch to get it centered on the rotor. Let's see if this is the same. You want to do is try to get that centered as best you can. Apparently this side will be no shims. I really don't know the difference. It doesn't much matter. It's just, the only thing I learned that I said on the wheel was just do what you had to do. And that's what we did. So that'll work. Now I can take it apart. I can leave this on here. We're going to take this back off. We're going to load the pads in it. And then we'll get to figure out the measurement we're going to cut this back at. And we got to put the fitting on it. And then we got to do a double flare on it. Not a bubble flare, but a double flare. No, that's the same thing as an inverted flare. I learned that the last time we were going to brake. I didn't know that until I did the front brakes, and then I learned it. So I thought I'd act like I knew what I was sounding like and like I was smart, but I'm really not. Pads loaded in. We're going to tighten it up. Weird enough for me. No shim up top. Small 16th shim on the bottom. Worked out great. You do you, okay? It doesn't mind to figure out why. I just do it. We got our flex line on. Flares made. We're done. This right here is for parking brake. This car seems to be missing a parking brake, so we're going to leave it here just in case maybe at some point in our life we ever put one back. Highly unlikely. Just makes me sleep better at night that maybe I could. I mean, your street car don't have a parking brake? Come on, man. If I told right, I thought I was told, and I could be wrong, but I'm going to double check, is the spacing out. This may push the wheel like 1/8 inch out further than it was, which for me is no big deal. I run a 1/4 inch spacer on here. I'm going to put it on here anyway and check because I have to stay away off this in-place coil over here, which is a bad thing. I need to go inboard. I know. Look here, I'm on a budget. I'm trying, people. I'm trying, okay? So, anywho, so we'll double check that, and then we're going to figure out what we're going to do with that. But for right now, we're going to bleed the brakes. Chase went inside, my little assistant there. So, we're going to use our vacuum pump and try to suck as much of this fluid out as we can and be ready so we can deplete it really fast. We're going to use a little power bleeder here. What you do is pump yourself a little vacuum here, and you sucking a little bit of air out of there. What I'm trying to do is just fill this chamber up and get a little bit out. I did put a pair of vice grips on that rubber hose up there, so that should help block it off. It's weird, it's got red on it. Oh, it's power kind. No wonder it's got red on the power line. But anyway, let me go check my fluid level up top here. We got most of the air out. We have it hooked up proper way, dip tube in and all that. So now let's start pumping and see what we get here. Okay? Okay. All right, everything's bled. So we're going to crank it up, back it up, and we're going to take it down the road and do some soft stops to break the pads in. There's a procedure. You can look it up. It tells you how to do it. It's not complicated. Just don't want to go hog wild on your first couple stops there, because if not, you can just glaze them over and they'll be done for life. Knowing me, that's probably the dumb shit I do, but just don't be like me. Let her warm up, then we'll take her out down the road. And, like I said, just break the brakes in gently. All right, let's see what we go. Not kill ourselves. Very, very slow to start with. But get up speed, let off. We'll get it up to 30 or so. We'll do that a couple times here. Oh, that's definitely better. I dropped the bar in the back, don't worry. Way better than it was with the drums. Keep doing that about 5 times. What, we on 3 or 4 there? We'll call that 3, okay? One more like that, then we'll get a little speed in. It's about 45-ish or so. We're not going to come to a complete stop. Alright, now we're running up here. Then we'll go back and do a couple more on it. That's all we got to do, nothing major. This is 10,000 times better than it was. I have no problem with this. This is comparable to power brakes with before, so I think this is cool. Anyway, big post office there, big post office. See what we're doing, Barney. The boost control is not on, so it's only about 5 pounds boost if it does do it. And big stop. Break them in good. About a 70-mile-an-hour stop. And there we go. Alright. One more of them and we'll be done. Nice, clean. Right. We're done for now. That's cool. Big win, big win. Alrighty, that is what we call a W. Back in here. Calm down, boy. Calm down, big boy. Test the 2-step in a second. Let the boost controller come on and we'll test the 2-step, okay? Always gotta check the 2-step. Not bad. Been working on getting it to come up faster. It's coming up faster. I'm gonna count that down in a second. I still need to do some timing offsets on it, but I believe she is track ready now. One more loop around the neighborhood a little bit. Let the brakes cool off, and we'll be golden. Golden. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it, boys and girls. Everybody that's resubscribed to the new channel. I appreciate the hell out of that, moving the steering wheel over out of the way. Can't see it hot. I appreciate the heck out of that. We'll catch you on the next one. Hopefully track day pull along. Just got to save some money up. Your gas is insane. Y'all already know that. I ain't got to tell you that. I'm telling you, gas is effing insane. And it's going up again. But it's fine. I'm
till the next one.